Hello and welcome to Newsroom. We are coming to you live from our studios at the Platinum Place here in Accra. I am Nadima. Umar Uthman. Coming up in this bulletin. NDC describes petition seeking to remove Acting Chief Justice Paul Bafo-Buni as frivolous and not worthy of attention.
It doesn't even meet the threshold of a joke. For us to even think about meeting the threshold, legal threshold, or any merit in it, there is none.
Also, President John Dramani Mahama expresses concern over persistent misuse of public funds and recurring financial irregularities revealed by Public Accounts Committee. And later, Child Protection Group condemns the alleged dragging of twin toddlers by two nannies in Accra. In business, Ghana signs fifth bilateral debt restructuring agreement with Spain. And on the international front, Gaza ceasefire and hostage released within days after Israel and Hamas agreement of the first phase of the deal. The details of these and many more, stay with us. Thanks for your company once again. Remember, this bulletin is also live on all our social media platforms at GHOne TV. Now, Speaker of Parliament Alban Badming has announced that Parliament will now reconvene on October 21, 2025, after an earlier indefinite postponement of its third meeting. The Speaker of Parliament, in a new notice, referenced an earlier communication dated October 6, 2025, which had indefinitely deferred the opening of Parliament due to unspecified circumstances. Citing Order 58 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, Mr. Badming formally directed that parliamentary proceedings will now resume on October 21, 2025. Well, away from that, private legal practitioner and member of the NDC, Theophilus Jimega, has described a petition seeking to remove the Acting Chief Justice Paul Bafo-Buni as frivolous and not worthy of any attention. His comments comes on the back of a petition by one Bande Nabin Yusuf to President John Dramani Mahama to remove the Acting Chief Justice over what he terms as prejudicial comments by Bafo-Buni.
The foundations were laid when they removed Afoko. Nothing happened. They removed crap, nothing happened. They removed Charlotte, saying nothing happened. Those were the days the foundation was laid. Let him go back to history. They kept warning them that you are laying the foundation. But when I said before that Tokonu, former CJ Emeritus, cannot go back as a judge of the Supreme Court, it is because of things like this. This petition actually doesn't even meet the threshold of a joke. For us to even think about meeting the threshold, legal threshold, or any merit in it, there is none. It is legally defective. And I don't want to add again that mathematically even it won't meet anything for it to be considered. So I wish the President, His Excellency, and his team would dispatch a response with the speed of lightning back to sender.
In a sharp rebuttal, private legal practitioner and member of the NPP's legal directorate, Ishaq Ibrahim, said that the petition against the acting CJ is action that the NDC started with the removal of the immediate past Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu from office. According to him, this issue would not have surfaced if the NDC had not interrupted Ghana's judicial independence.
Just as this one was frivolous, I believe the former Chief Justice case was so frivolous And yet, they opened the Pandora box. Now we have got 2 additional petitions. And assigned Unicolani to there's a petition to remove him, as well as the Chief Justice. This is why when something is a taboo, tread carefully. Don't just, because you've already conceived a wicked plan in your opposition, and dress it up in a legal language and use Article 146 as a clock. This is the outcome of it. So they laid the foundation for all these things. And we warned them that you are going to undermine judicial independence if you begin governance this way. Okay. Because the Constitution envisions a clear separation of powers. And that even if Article 146, which I believe is flawed, empowers a president and a council of state and a committee to do this, tread carefully. Because the spirit of the Constitution requires judicial independence. And if a judge has to always be careful what he says, otherwise he'll be removed. I mean, how can we ensure the judicial independence? I mean, judges cannot even speak their mind.
To one of our headline stories, President John Dramani Mahama has expressed deep concern over the persistent misuse of public funds and recurring financial irregularities revealed by Parliament's Public Accounts Committee. He lamented that year after year reports of mismanagement and wastage continue to dominate the headlines, eroding public confidence in state institutions. The President has therefore directed that all persons found guilty of misappropriating public funds will be prosecuted through a fast-track judicial process, a move aimed at restoring trust and accountability in the use of public resources.
Set down by law to make sure that we leave office. When you leave office, you must be able to hold your head high. Wake up in the morning and not fear that anybody will call you to come and account for anything, because you did things the way you should have done them. Recently, I've been watching the Public Accounts Committee, and it's so pathetic. You know, why must we every year congregate at the Public Accounts Committee, and then you hear all kinds of atrocious, things. I mean, recklessness with public funds and resources. And so I have a meeting on Thursday with the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and others to find a final solution to this Auditor General's report, that persons who are found guilty of infractions or do not follow due procedure or lead to loss of public resources, we must have a fast-track process to Nsawam, Fast-track, before you see you in Nsawam, 6 months. Until we do that, until there's a deterrent, we're going to come every year and they say total misappropriation and infractions of found out by the Auditor General is about 15 billion cedis. I mean, if we save 15 billion cedis, can you imagine what it could do? And so we're going to have a meeting, we're going to brainstorm. We've not fully implemented the constitutional provision. There's a part of the provision that says after the Public Accounts Committee has sat on the Auditor General's report, Parliament must set up a committee. What we don't know is whether it should be a parliamentary committee or it's a committee not necessarily made of parliamentarians to implement the findings of the Auditor General. Right now, what we use is the audits, the ARICs. Every department is supposed to set up an ARIC. But once they've come from the Public Accounts Committee, virtually nobody follows up on what's the recommendations that were given. And so the audit reports implementation committees are not working. And so we must find a way where we are able to create a deterrent until people know that you can be held responsible for these things that you do. They'll continue to do the same thing. And so after Thursday, I'm sure we'll come up with some way where persons who are culpable of misusing the resources of the people will be held to account so that others, do not follow suit.
Well, we'll interrogate this directive by President John Dramani Mahama shortly with an anti-graft campaigner. But before that, on the back of issues regarding concerns about parental consent, the Ghana Health Service says that feedback from parents on the rollout of the human papilloma virus vaccination for girls aged 9 to 14 has prompted the service to intensify public awareness and sensitization efforts to help parents understand the importance and benefits of the vaccine.
During COVID, you recall that vaccines were rolled out. We have had episodes of cholera outbreaks. We've given vaccines. And the usual thing we do is you opt out or you are offered the opportunity to take the vaccine. We know that in Ghana, vaccines are voluntary when it comes to immunizing people. But the fact is that this is a public health initiative that is geared towards ensuring that people are protected now and in future. So we appreciate the concerns from parents, and we are taking it as a good feedback to help us in our campaigns. We're identifying the groups that are protesting that they won't allow their wards to take these vaccines. And we are informing the teams in various areas to engage them. We are not going to force people to take the vaccines. If you express concern that you are going to be immunized and you want to take clearance from your parent, we don't think that is out of the norm. We give you that chance. And for all the children who called their parents, they answered that they could go ahead and take. And I think this has alerted us that we need to do our engagement more.
Health-related issues. After months of stalled progress, reconstruction work on the La General Hospital is set to resume. Minister for Health, Kobna Minta-Akando, has announced that the second interim payment certificate has been approved, paving the way for contractors to return to site.
We had the consultant and the contractor briefing us. This is costing us about 50 million euros. This project has gone through some history. So as it stands now, this project, you have to make an allocation on the national budget before you get money to continue this project. There are projects when you inherit, there is a dedicated funding. So once you inherit, you just have to run with it. This is not the type of project. And so in 2025 budget, we made an allocation of 130 million Ghana cedis for this project. My records indicate that out of the 50 million euros, about 7 million euros have been paid, which means that we have about 43 million euros more to pay before the completion of this project. The second IPC has been raised, as I indicated during my first submission. We have forwarded them to the Ministry of Finance. That is the process. We can't pay you without IPC, without you raising anything. And so it's been raised. We forwarded them to the Ministry of Finance. We've done some follow-ups with the Member of Parliament, myself, the last time I did a follow-up was yesterday. I engaged the Minister for Finance, and the Minister of Finance is committed into ensuring that funds are released for this project to progress.
Some more stories. Action Group for Child Protection, a private organization that looks after the welfare of children, has condemned the action of two caretakers in Accra following revelations that they dragged a pair of twin toddlers in their care. The two, 30-year-old student nurse Francisca Boache and 31-year-old Harriet Ansah, now in police custody, are accused of dragging the 2-year-old boys with sleep-inducing medication. The ordeal came to an end when their mother reached out to the police. Here's more in the following report.
The disturbing incident occurred at East Legon, one of Accra's plush neighborhoods. The suspects have been identified as 30-year-old student nurse Francisca Boachi from Konongo and 31-year-old Harriet Ansah from Jasikan in the Oti region. The pair allegedly administered sleep-inducing drugs to their employer's twin children without the mother's consent. According to police reports, the nannies used a substance suspected to be medication meant for adults to force the toddlers into deep sleep so they could attend to other activities. One of the suspects admitted to mixing the drugs with the children's meals and further confessed to acts of physical and verbal abuse. Police retrieved 2 used and 4 unused trays of the suspected substance during a search of the suspect's room. Following their arrest by the Airport Divisional DOFSU, the victims were taken to the hospital where doctors confirmed the incident and began thorough medical examinations and analysis on the twins. The Accra Regional Police Command has strongly condemned the cruel acts
and urges parents and guardians to remain vigilant in the supervision of domestic staff. Further updates on the case will be communicated as investigations continue.
Suspects Francisca and Harriet have since been charged and put before the court, where they were remanded to reappear on October 20, 2025. This heinous crime represents another reminder of the need to protect the most vulnerable among us, our children.
Very worrying development there, but let's stay a while longer on this. Founder and Executive Director of Action Group for Child and Family Protection, Fred Sechi Wafo, joins us via phone. Many thanks for joining us, Fred. What do you think that, or what does it say about the level of supervision and also background checks that are done for caretakers, such as in this instance in Ghana?
Thank you very much for having me. In fact, in the first place, I would say that the action must be condemned in no uncertain terms. It has to be condemned. This is because children must be protected. Children are potentially vulnerable, but adults or parents who actually do the right thing by providing the necessary supervision and care, take the children out of vulnerability, and then give them the necessary protection. In this case, parents have to play a role. Secondly, caregivers like the nannies also have a role to play in protecting children. Looking at the Children's Act, Section 2 will tell you about the welfare principle, that we should, in everything that we do, we should seek the best interest of the child. Seeking the best interest of the child means weighing every element in a case or a matter to ensure that it is good for a child. In this case, I would say that the best interests of the children were not sought. Those nannies rather sought their own interest and not the best interest of the children. Again, looking at the Children's Act 1998, it also talks about protection from torture, protection from degrading treatment or inhuman treatment for any child. So once you do that, you commit an offense or a crime. In this case, they have subjected the children to inhumane treatment, and therefore it is against the law, that is the Children's Act. So what they have done is going to have an effect on the children. And children also have what we call survival rights. children must survive and develop.
Fred, since you're on the law and we know that the caretakers are currently in police custody, do you think that the penalties put in place is adequate enough to deter others from doing same?
Yes, if they are found guilty, certainly, the law will take its course. And it will serve as a deterrent to people who are also planning to do same. The most important thing is that people should stay away from treating children inhumanely. People should stay away. I will also advise parents, because the children are 2 years old. They are 2 years old. And the first place you can take a child to at this stage should be a daycare center where the child will be given the necessary protection. When you close from work, you go for the children.
But Fred, that argument, is that nuanced enough? Because a lot of people have also raised concerns that if you're saying that the 2-year-old should be taken to the daycare, first of all, we don't know the arrangements the parents have. But then if they go to daycare, they don't spend the entire day there. If they come home and the parents have to work, what happens to the children? And so that argument...
Yes, that is one thing that parents can do to protect their children. But when it comes to going for a nanny as additional support, then the background of those nannies must be critically checked. They must be critically checked. If we are taking these nannies from a company, a duly registered company, you also have to do background check to find out the real character of those people. It is very important that we do that.
But Fred, as a child rights group, you do understand that usually caretakers in this instance is not really formalized. And so a lot of people go in for people they might know, or somebody recommends the caregivers. And so what measures can be put in place to ensure that it's more formalized, such that parents can have this background checks that you're recommending?
That is it. Nobody, you say we have informal ways of doing things in this country. And then we have formal ways. But at times, informally, people go for friends, people go for relatives, people go for other people, informally. And when it comes to informal arrangements of that nature, then it means, as a parent, you have to do diligence. It's very, very important that you do that.
Right.
But if it comes to the formal ones, then the most important thing is that the company or the organization should be seen to have been duly registered.
Okay.
And two, the background of anybody caring for a child should be checked by the police CID to find out whether the person has any criminal background.
Okay.
And thirdly, even if you have done all this, there should always be an eye on those people to ensure that the right things are done for the children.
Grateful for your thoughts. Unfortunately, we have to end the conversation here. I'm sure we'll explore that subsequently. But then that there is Fred Sechibuafo, who is the founder and executive director of Action Group for Child and Family Protection. This incident has definitely generated a lot of conversation on social media and, of course, mainstream media. But Nadima Akwa is bringing us your thoughts on our social media platforms.
Well, Nadima, this is quite a disturbing story that we are hearing about. Let's go straight over to Facebook, where Elisa says, imagine a student nurse doing this. God have mercy. You also have Rama. Nanny job is different from housekeeping, but people hire people to do a nanny job and still do the housekeeping, putting their children at risk of neglect. Protect your kids. Don't give 2 jobs to one person. A nanny job is a 24-hour job. It all depends on the person's financial capacity, I think there. Mamiama says, hey, for real, how could they? You also have Gladys Frimpoma. This is pure wickedness. Kobe says, as little as those kids are, humanity has lost it. Afi says prison time is warranted. Shame on them. You also have Kojo. That's a consequence of making your business and career more important than your children. If you're not ready to be a mother and you think pursuing your career is more important than you raising a family, then don't have a child after marriage until you're ready to settle down. There is no way I will trust my children in the hands of a nanny. Aisha adds, I had to close my shop for 3 good years to stay home and take care of my twins until they started school. at 3 years of age. I mean, it still raises a lot of questions. Are we supposed to look at how long mothers are supposed to take for maternity leave? That's also something that needs to be considered, because if people had a lot more time with their children, then they can find out these different things, as the gentleman earlier said. My name is Nadima Aqua. Let's hope we get this sorted out as soon as possible. Nadima, back to you.
I definitely agree with you, Nanama. Issues of maternity leave and also the financial circumstances of parents, it brings to bear what should be done, or what stakeholders should be doing to extend the years or months that mothers get to spend with their children. But that there is Nana Ama Aqua is still watching Newsroom live on GH1 TV with me, Nadima, Umar, Uthman. And some more stories. There's been mixed reactions after the Communications Minister, Samuel Nete George, and Majority Chief Whip, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamakbo, who called for a review of the age limit for enlistment into the Ghana Armed Forces. The lawmakers believe that the current age limit of 25 years disqualifies many capable and fiscally fit individuals in their 30s who are willing to serve their country. They propose 35 to 40 years maximum for the enlistment. Their comments comes as debate intensifies on Ghana Armed Forces' recent enlistment announcement on social media. Samuel Apia is a security analyst and joins us via phone for a conversation on this. Many thanks for joining us, Samuel. What do you make of this proposal by the minister? Should it be 25 years, or we should look at adjusting the age?
Well, thank you, and good afternoon. I think the age as regards the recruitment into the Army and the Air Force and all the adjoining forces within the military, it's normally they look at the physics, the age qualification for general, Army from 18, 25, thereabouts for professionals. And so it's probably the standard as they have seen having been the practice for some time, and they want to stick to that particular age limit because they have a standard of procedure and then operations and also qualification criteria. And they wouldn't want to go beyond or outside these criteria that gives them the kind of personnel they will have to recruit, and given the rigorous nature of the training, their physical, stature, health conditions, and age-wise and all that. So it is basically they have to ensure that they will not go beyond outside the parameters as required by the standard procedure as far as enlistment or recruitment is concerned. So if they peg it to 25 years, I think it is normally that is the procedure and that is the standard. People who want to advocate and ask for more, but I would want to suggest that the Army has a very rigorous process given the nature of the assignments and the activities involved. You cannot just want to say you want people to get opportunity in there, and so they should increase the age gap. And even they increase the age gap, how long is the person going to stay in the service? And how productive is the person going to be, and all of that. And they have a specific contract for them. So the people who get the opportunity are expected to work within that particular frame of procedure and the age limit they have for them. So I think we will have to allow the system to work, and whatever the procedure and the criteria are must be adhered to. We may be very harming the conscience of the institution if we want to go outside the parameters and probably engage in certain things that might not be of beneficial, but rather maybe we want to say we need more people to stay in the service, so let's get to that. But I think let's allow the system as it is that they have approved of it, and having practices and proving, that it is the right thing they are doing. I think that would be the best thing for them.
Okay, all right. Samuel Apia is a security analyst. Away from that, the Upper West Regional Police Command has arrested 30-year-old Sharif Abdullahi, who has confessed to killing 16 people in the Wa municipality since 2021. His capture follows weeks of intelligence operations and the earlier arrest of 25-year-old Mahmouda Lamin, linked to the recent murder of night duty security guard Yahya Isa. Investigations suggest that the suspects targeted mainly security guards on night duty and mentally challenged individuals, often using blunt objects. Authorities believe that both men are behind a series of murders, primarily targeting private security personnel, while preliminary investigations show that the victims suffered severe head injuries while on duty. Police recovered the victims' belongings and also weapons and other items during the arrest. Authorities have not confirmed reports alleging cannibalism. Both suspects remain in custody as investigations continue. We've been joined by our Upper West Regional Correspondent, Ado Supremo, via Zoom for a conversation on this. Ado, many thanks for joining us. What is the state of the residents following this arrest?
Yes, good afternoon, and good afternoon to our viewers across the country. Here in the Upper West region, calm have been restored in the hearts and minds of many residents following the groundbreaking information revealed by the Ghana Police Service, revealing 2 suspects in connection to series of killings that have occurred between 2021 to 2022. And quite recently in September, that was on the 21st of September, another murder occurred around Duri in the Wa municipality. The man killed was 55, Isa Yahya. And the Ghana Police Service at yesterday's press briefing did reveal that 2 suspects were in custody. One is Laminu Mahmouda and the other is Sharif Abdullahi, who have aliases Sani Mohammed and Kritos. These are names that he is known by some other residents here in the Upper West region. For a very long time, it has been an issue that many have been calling on the security services, the Ghana Police Service and other allied security agencies to work to ensure that we will get to the bottom of this particular matter. At yesterday's press briefing by the regional police commander, who is just new in the Upper West region, ACP Francis Yuribare, he did reveal that this suspect was arrested with series of exhibits that belong to the deceased Isa Yahya. A mobile phone was found, a bicycle was found.
Ado, we'll come to what the police commander said, but do we know why there were reports of cannibalism?
The reports of cannibalism came in because if you look at the murder cases that occurred in the past, if you go to the crime scene, you did realize that fire was mounted at these points. You will not exactly know what the fire was used for, but there was suspicion that they set up fire to maybe cook something or to do some other rituals. But this particular suspect, Sharif Abdullahi, when he was caught, the Ghana Police Service did reveal that they caught him with a sack full of meat. They did not reveal whether it was human meat or it was goat meat or cow meat, but the Ghana Police Service did reveal that the suspect was caught with a sack full of meat. And subsequent interrogations that we are hearing from the Ghana Police Service is that the suspect himself did allude to the fact that he has been doing it. He has been eating the meat of the organs of these persons that he has killed in the past. And people that have known this guy while he was growing up did also confirm that he is someone that used to eat raw meat. Maybe if you kill a goat or if you kill a fowl, he will be able to chew the raw meat without getting any other sicknesses in that regard. So these are the reasons why many are suspecting cannibalism when it comes to this arrest that was made by the Ghana Police Service.
Right.
And it is strongly also linked to the murder scenes of these 15 victims that have been killed. If you have, we followed the search team to some of these scenes in the past, and when you get there, you realize that fire is always set in that particular area. So when the fire is being set, the speculations are, is it that the killer is now boiling or cooking the meat to eat?
Ado, grateful for those updates. We do know that the police has, however, disputed the allegations of cannibalism. But let's take a listen to the Upper West Regional Police Commander, ACP Francis Yeribari, who was making the shocking revelations at a press briefing in WA.
The investigation so far has the following. Following a careful review of the cases and the pattern that seems consistent in all the cases, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Christian Tete Yohono, put together a team of intelligence officers and investigators from the National Police Headquarters and dispatched them to the Upper West region to support the region's response. Accordingly, our intelligence, investigation, and operation teams have been following all relevant leads to help us unravel these cases. The cases include some 15 murder cases recorded in the region between 2021 and 2022, and also the recent incident of murder involving a watchman, Mr. Issa Yehaya, at the Wadopie New Market area on September 21st, 2025.
On a rather sad development, a raging fire has gutted parts of Akosombo Textiles Limited factory in the Isiojaman district of the Eastern region on the night of October 8, 2025. The incident, which occurred around 9 p.m., took personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service several hours to bring under control, with the flames finally subdued around midnight. However, smoke is still billowing. Firefighting efforts were hampered by logistical challenges as the fire tender at Akosombo was grounded, forcing emergency responders to rely on tenders from the Volta River Authority and Pong Fire Station. According to eyewitnesses, the fire started at the spinning department of the company. Although the exact cause is yet to be determined, sources at the factory suspect that it may have been linked to oxyacetylene welding work being used to dismantle some machinery allegedly meant to be sold as scrap. The incident has deepened concern among workers about ongoing dismantling and sale of valuable factory equipment. Kenneth Asari is the factory manager at the factory and joins us for a conversation on this. Kenneth, many thanks for joining us. What's the situation with regard to the fire? Have the fire service been able to douse it?
Yeah, good afternoon, and thanks for the call. Yes, the fire was contained and eventually brought under control around 2 a.m. last night. And so, as I speak now, there's no fire. We've managed to quench it.
Ghana National Fire Service, have you had engagements with them? I know it's still early days yet, but do we know what caused the fire?
Okay, so the fire service team have just come to do their assessment, and they've asked me to give them some time. They're going to do investigation up till Monday to be able to get the cause and then inform us.
Right.
So,
finally, Kenneth, your factory workers have also been raising some concerns with regard to scrap dealing in the area or within the factory. Elaborate on that briefly.
So this is the section of the factory that operation is not going on, and we had some obsolete machines that were removed long ago. And we are cleaning the place because if you know a bit about Akusumo Textiles, we have a company, World Shoe, that have come to lease a place and is operating manufacturing shoes. Now we have a company that also wants to come to produce mosquito nets. Because we have turned the place as industrial park, the opportunity is there to allow people to operate. And so we are actually cleaning the place.
Okay.
As it is now, the fire service will have not been able to tell me that it is the cause of it. They
right.
No, they haven't found anything linked to that yet.
Okay.
So we should give them time to. So once we get a real cause, we'll let everybody know, and you'll be informed.
Okay.
But
all
for
right.
now, we don't know the cause of the fire.
All right. Grateful for your time. Kenneth Asare is the factory manager at Akusumo Textiles Limited. Let's do business now.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Ghana's Public Interest and Accountability Committee is raising red flags over government's decision to channel more oil revenues into the Big Push infrastructural program. The committee warns that the move, though well-intentioned, is reducing budget allocations to key oil and gas agencies and could undermine growth in the petroleum sector. To help us understand the implications of this development, we've been joined by Richard Elima, who is the Chief Technical Subcommittee of PIAC. Grateful for your company once again, Richard. Is there a way, you have raised concerns, but is there a way that we can balance, or governments can balance, infrastructure investments with sustaining oil and gas sector growth?
Yes, there is a way. And before I even respond to that particular question, let me clear the air. PIAC is not competing with the big push by government.
Right.
PIAC is not raising issues with the big push. In fact, if you've checked PIAC's annual reports, semi-annual reports, we've always made the point that government should be using petroleum revenues to undertake big infrastructure projects as captured under the big push agenda. So we are not in any way competing or having any problems with that. Our major concern has to do with the fact that by amending the law, PIAC has been taken off the ABFE, and therefore we do not have a sustainable source of funding. Yeah, that is the only concern. Now, to answer your question, yes, government can still go ahead and do the big push, but then I do not think PIAC's budget over the years, if you check the percentage of our budget against what we get for the ABFE, it's so insignificant that I do not think it will have any impact on the ABFE that is available to government for the big push. So we can still have the big push and still, sufficiently support PIAC's budget. I don't think that should be a problem at all.
Richard, what
last 2 years,
solution?
for instance, our budget was not even up to 1% of the entire ABFE. So if you check the 1%, 0.5%, and so on, it's quite insignificant. So government can funding, create a sustainable pathway for our funding and still go ahead with the big push. I don't think that there should be a problem with that.
You mentioned that the budget allocation for PIAC is less than 1%. Is it affecting your work?
It is. It is affecting our work significantly. You know, PIAC has a mandate under the Petroleum Revenue Management Act. We are to publish 2 reports each year, the annual report, the semi-annual report. We are supposed to do public outreach. We are supposed to do district and regional engagements where we meet different constituencies of people. We are supposed to meet our constituent institutions. We are supposed to meet different segments of the Ghanaian society and so on. So if you look at the number of activities that we undertake, they are all costly. They all cost money. Okay. And cutting our budget significantly definitely will impact our ability to deliver on these legal mandates that we have. So, for instance, we were supposed to do some regional engagements this year. We are in October, the 10th month. So far, we've done only 1 regional engagement in the Ashanti region. Even then, it was sponsored by an NGO called Good Governance Africa. We are supposed to do district engagements. We've done only 4 districts out of many districts that we are supposed to go to. But even then, that was also sponsored by GIZ, the German Development Corporation. Right. So what we are saying is that by cutting our budget significantly, our ability to deliver on our mandate as prescribed by the PRMA is going to be impaired. Right. And grateful. That I don't think is good for our democracy, is good for our governance as a country.
Richard, grateful for your time. I'm sure we'll come to you in our subsequent bulletin, but he is the Chief Technical Subcommittee of PIAC. Away from that story, celebrated media personality Sewa Amihere has officially joined the Sultana family as a new face of the iconic food brand. The announcement was made at a colorful ceremony in Accra, featuring live cooking demonstrations and the launch of an exciting promotion where consumers will win prizes such as cars, trucks, and motorbikes.
An atmosphere of flavor at the unveiling ceremony of the new ambassador for the age-old perfumed long-grain rice brand, Sultana Rice. The household name in Ghanaian kitchens unveiled award-winning broadcaster Sewa Amihere as its newest brand ambassador.
Fried rice.
Amid cheers and the aroma of Ghanaian delicacies, Sewa Amihere showcased her culinary skills alongside a team of renowned chefs, bringing to life the delicious potential of the Sultana product range.
Sultana doesn't just produce rice. We told you earlier that they have a wide range of products. If you look behind me, you see that they have sardine, they have spaghetti, they have oil, they have tomato paste, they have baked beans, they have pasta, they have non-dairy products. So they have a wide range of products, really. If you haven't tried it, I feel so sorry for you. I hope that you get your hands on a bag of Sultana rice.
She added that she was drawn to the brand because of its quality and resonance with the Ghanaian culture.
When I was approached by the brand to represent them, I didn't have to think twice. You know, I like to be associated with quality things and things that have stood the test of time. And even everyone loves Sultana. People like to consume good quality stuff, good quality rice. I see a lot of rice brands, like you said, but I have tasted Sultana. I have tasted Sultana for so many years. And the aroma, the way that it cooks, you're able to make any and everything with it, makes it really stand out.
To celebrate the partnership, marketing manager for the Sultana brands, Hilal Sweden, disclosed a nationwide promotion where loyal customers will win fantastic prizes such as cars, trucks, and motorbikes just by enjoying Sultana rice.
Trade Pass and Sultana is looking for quality, vision, and ambition. That's our purpose. We are not just selling rice. We are feeding people every day. We are making a promotion. What kind of promotion that we are making? We are giving giveaways like cars, trucks, motorbikes, and etc. There will be scratch and win coupons. Try to scratch and you will be the lucky one in Ghana these days.
The event ended on an exciting note, with guests treated to mouth-watering dishes and a first-hand taste of what the partnership promises.
So one of our headline stories, government has signed a bilateral debt restructuring agreement with the Kingdom of Spain, marking the fifth of such agreements concluded under the country's official creditor framework. The agreement was signed on behalf of the Republic of Ghana by the Minister for Finance, Dr. Cassio Tufosing, on behalf of Spain, I beg your pardon, by the Ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Angel Losada Torres Covado. The signing forms part of Ghana's ongoing efforts to restore debt sustainability and strengthen the foundations for economic recovery. It also follows earlier bilateral agreements concluded with China, France, Finland and the United Kingdom. The finance minister noted that the government aims to conclude the remaining restructuring processes by the end of the year to put this difficult chapter behind the nation. The minister reaffirmed the government's commitment to prudent fiscal and debt management, noting that Ghana is determined to ensure long-term sustainability and avoid a recurrence of unsustainable debt levels. Dr. Fortin expressed gratitude to government and the people of Spain for their cooperation and support throughout the restructuring process. That's it for business. Let's bring you some sports news now.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Vice Chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee, Stephen Appiah, says the 5-0 win against the Central African Republic came as a surprise to him. He expressed excitement with the result, noting that such a dominant performance was unexpected. Appiah also praised the team's cohesion and determination throughout the match.
0, I mean, let me be honest, no, but I knew that they are going to win the game because per their training, what I saw at the training grounds, the intensity, the seriousness, give me some assurance that they are going to win the game for sure. After a win like this, I think everybody is calm, everybody is happy, and we can see players are happy. And I mean, after hearing the Comoros results, still we have a game to play. So we thought Comoros is going to beat at Madagascar or they are going to draw. So we know that we have finished the business.
Black Stars defender Mohamed Salisu says he's excited to have been on the score sheets for the Black Stars during yesterday's game against the Central African Republic. He added that scoring in such an important match was a proud moment for him and a boost to his confidence.
And it's the only way we can qualify to the World Cup. And I think it was a good reaction with the boys. Like they are all ready. You know, we spoke in training. And I think everyone was ready for the game. And when we started the game, it was a bit difficult because, you know, they were keeping the ball a lot. But, you know, we try, you know, to stay on, you know, to maintain the defense. And I think, yeah, it was a good game. Yeah, to be honest, because the first one, I think I didn't got the ball, you know, because of the sun. And I know when it comes again, I'm gonna score. So I told Kudus to put the ball in the second post, and then I think he did it. And then you know, and I tried to get there at the right time.
That's it for sports. Let's bring you entertainment on GHOne. Once upon a time in Ghanaian homes, memories did not live on phone screens or cloud drives. They sat proudly on coffee tables, bound in thick leather albums. From birthdays, weddings to funerals, albums were family history books. As pixels have replaced printed photos, my colleague Nanea Osare walks us through some nostalgic moments.
In the days before smartphones and social media, every Ghanaian home had one treasured item, a family photo album. Today, these albums have been replaced by pixels on our phones. But as we scroll through screens instead of turning pages, are we losing something more than the feel of printed photographs? Contemporary photographer Richmond Osei believes the safety and longevity of digital albums make them indispensable, but he admits they lack the emotional touch printed albums once carried.
Because now we have cloud, we can store our images on the cloud, so when you have a Google Drive, you can store it. So you don't need the external drive or a pen drive or any memory. So I grew up with a father who did photography too as well. So I saw him give albums to people, and then I saw the feeling. And even when people came to visit us at home, when you give them the album to look through, the feeling was different. Now I see people send images on phones to people, and then I think that they like it. Now people are more concerned about how the picture looks more than the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think that's one of the things that the album was for and it created that I loved.
Veteran photographer and president of the Ghana Photojournalists Association, David Andor, who lived through the golden age of film, argues that analog albums were simpler and less costly. Yet, he concedes matched advantages, commending it as the best option now.
I will commend digital because it is the way to go. But as I told you, it has some challenges. You see, these days, everybody is taking pictures. And we professionals, me for instance, it has happened to me many occasions. The pictures I took in the past, and I put them on my, what we call, pen drives and other drives. I mean, something happened to them and I lost them. So I was asking myself, like, I backed those images up with hard copies. At least, if you have the hard copy, you can scan it and you can use it.
Between their views lies a truth many Ghanaian families can relate to. Technology may have given us speed and security, but perhaps it has taken away from the family camaraderie the joy of turning its pages and the comfort of holding memories that cannot simply be swiped away.
Pictures with the share album, who titi pictures. Just me kaise me kunu wo ho no. Eya o twa picture wo phone nusu or ni twa. Ye bibia na o twa. Yanka say ye bi so na o twa. Owu sisi anu sa picture no me to me yi free phone. Na me hu say we oye anase and say. But dia me ni twa titi no wo ho me ba no mo hu. Say na me ni ye di abrabom no ye relationship no twa picture or the me or the training in our album prefer.
You can watch the rest of this beautiful story on our social media platforms at GHOne TV. Let's bring you international news. Israelis and Palestinians rejoiced on Thursday after was announced under the first phase of U.S. President Donald Trump's initiative to end the war in Gaza. The enemies both publicly endorsed the deal and had been expected to sign it around noon in the Egyptian beach resort of Sharm el-Sheikh, though there was no immediate official confirmation that the signing had taken place. And that's how we wrap up this edition of Newsroom Live on GHOne TV with me, Nadima, Umar, Uthman. This bulletin was produced by Awusi Dede Jange. But for more news, log on to starfm.com.gh. Good afternoon.